is up? Welcome back to the Sloppy. And I can't talk like that. That's going to hurt my throat. But anyway, welcome back to the Sloppy Syndicate show. We have a banger of a band ready to come on the show, and I am ecstatic. Just found this band not too long ago, and they hooked it up. They said, hell yeah, we're down. We're going to come on the show. But yeah, I haven't been around for a couple of weeks. I've been traveling a lot. I went up to Incarnation in Ohio, which is the music festival, and it's been a rat race ever since. So it's good to be back. It's good to relax a little bit and be back on the podcast and pleasure your ear holes, hopefully just a little bit, give you that little eargasm and make them a little moist. And with that being said, let's go.
This may seem to be a strange request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it.
Not the little lame off his horse if he talking down. Got a Spanish thing with me, it's just a gown. Really move like Obama when I'm in town. Counting up cash, oh, you talk a lot. Be sitting too fidgety, fuck a drop. I know they be plotting like Oswald. She say that she love me, speak ballin'. Millie.
The sound that you hear is the border is me. When you leave the house, I can breathe, I can sleep. A currency to slipping, we turn into shame. The game is just while you scream.
Everybody knows I deliver banger after banger after banger after banger.
And there you go, folks. So that being said, let's bring on Our House. What is up?
What's good, my man? What's good?
It is such a pleasure to have you guys on the show. Like I said, I reached out a couple weeks ago after finding you guys on Spotify with the song Narco, which folks, you just heard a small sample of that. So definitely check out the full version. It is a banger. So I went out and I said, hey, what do I got to do to get you guys on the show? And of course, here they are now. So thankful that you guys are with us. Great music. But we are live on YouTube and Twitch. So we may have some fans kind of throwing some questions in the chat. So folks, do not hesitate to throw some questions at Our House. So tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and what you play.
My name's Millie. I'm the vocalist. And pretty much, bruh, I've been in Our House since the very jump, since the very beginning.
I'm Trav. I'm the bass player.
Maddie, play guitar.
All right. And you guys came out swinging in 2021 and just blew up the scene. So it's incredible to see what you guys have done in such a short time. So with that being said, give us a positive and give us a negative out of that, just kind of glowing up so quick in the genre that you guys are, which is kind of a mashup between rap and not, thug rap, but some more street rap with some metal, I would say. But yeah, it's been since 2021 and here you are just blowing up. So tell us a little bit about that.
Shit lit. I ain't gonna lie. We definitely fucking with it heavy. I'd say probably the only con is really just trying to not even keep up, but just try to soak it in. That's really the hardest part is just really soaking it in. I mean, there's times we don't even think we as popular as we are.
Yeah,
we don't even really, we kind of don't keep up with the popularity because we haven't really done shows or anything, so we can't see it all the way. But every time we step out, we always get love. I mean, it just is endless.
Yeah, and you guys have amassed over hundreds of thousands of views on listens. You have over 30,000 roughly listeners on Spotify. Yeah, so the glow up is real. You guys are
appreciate
popping.
it.
So we got Turbo Turkey Punch. Welcome in, Turbo Turkey Punch. I love that name. It's the same turkey punch I'm thinking of. But what's up, Avenge? Thanks for popping in, folks. Any questions? Do not hesitate to ask them. So, but yeah, so short ride and some huge success. So Rico was your first song, which came out in 2021. Kind of run us through the steps of, because you worked with Kane Hill, you've worked with Elijah Watts, some big names out there. Kane Hill is huge. And yeah, so what was it like working with Kane Hill, doing your first song? What was it like being in the studio and coming up with that, obviously that banger that got you started?
So really, we had it was kind of like a risk. We all looked at it as like, this could work out, this could not. The sound could be there, it could not be. But when we got in there, shit just kind of flowed out. It's real easy for us to write this kind of shit just because we all listen to either a lot of rap, or we listen to a lot of modern metal, or even take a lot of influence from older bands before us as well.
Try to rehash it in a fresh way.
Exactly. And pretty much the way Rico just played itself out with, we had Narco. I had laid down the rap verses to it, and I was like, man, it'd be sick just because it's a more rap forward song to kind of bring on somebody that could let the metal kids know, like, I'm fucking with it too. I'm seeing the vision. So I was like, might as well. Oh yeah, there we go. But Maddie's already filled in for Cane Hill on tour previously. I mean, for I think what, 2 years?
No, it was like 6 months.
6 months? Okay, yeah.
It felt like 2 years.
6 months feeling like 2 years, right?
It was a busy schedule. I'll say that.
But he had already filled in for him. And Whit was already fucking with the vision and how different we was kind of taking everything. So he hopped in and we wrote together and kind of collabed like that, keep it more organic. So that way everything kind of didn't really feel forced. And I think Whit got in there, me and him knocked that shit out in like an hour and a half.
That's super quick for a song.
Yeah.
Bro,
people take years to write songs.
They're way too good at what
we real quick with the shit. I mean, damn near every song that y'all heard from us so far, that's a one day thing.
You're just fucking crazy.
So, that's all I got to say. That's crazy because some of these bands take years to come up with material, and at least years before they drop it anyway. So
yeah,
definitely a talented group of individuals. So how'd you guys actually meet?
Crazy. I mean, me and Millie and our other guitar player Nick, we was actually in a band when we was kids. So we're all from the same area. We grew up in the same sections. So we already knew each other for the longest time. Even if we went separate paths for a few years and stayed cool, that was fine. But it just managed to fall this way. We went back up.
In 2021, he said, "Fuck this, we can do this on our own." So there you guys went.
Yeah.
So did the pandemic have anything to do with that? You guys kind of getting together and strumming and coming up with a band?
I wouldn't even say that.
Yeah.
Feel that way.
Yeah, it was more or less like Nick already had the idea for HourHouse.
Right.
He tries to say that it's a me and him thing, but I always say Nick really the one that came up with the idea of HourHouse, because I was really torn on the road with some rap shit. And Nick ended up calling me when I was on break for like 6 months. And he was like, man, I know you probably don't even fuck with metal, but would you be down? And I was like, actually, bro, I still fuck with metal on the daily. I was like, look, let's try to run it. And he's the one who came up with the name HourHouse. He had been sitting on it for a little bit, but it just, pandemic worked out for everything to kind of fall in place because I was taking some time off. Everybody wasn't really fucking with the music or even trying to do anything about it. So whenever he dropped the bomb, I was like, well, if we're going to do it, we're going to do this the best. We're going to be the best rap metal group that they got.
Right.
And
you guys
we just been pressing the gas ever since.
And what's the meaning behind the name HourHouse?
So to be real, I don't even know. I know.
That's a Nick question.
Yeah, that's really more of a Nick question. But I know it has something to do with unity. He did say that the name spans from something about unity, bringing everybody together under one roof.
Okay. Yeah. And I mean, prime example, you guys have moshed two different cultures per se into one. And yes. I'm a huge fan of it. It's becoming more popular now with the rap and the metal or rapcore. There's so many different subgenres they like to call it. But,
I know it never ends.
Right. So, but I'm a huge fan lately, and there's a lot of bands up and coming that are twisting and mashing different things up, and they're having huge success with it. So
Yes, sir.
you guys, HourHouse, Fox Lake, Cane Hill,
Yep.
there's so many bands out there that are thriving and actually making a name for themselves now, mashing genres and different things like that. So I'm about it. I fuck with it. I like it. I love it. So
Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you,
Appreciate it a lot.
Appreciate that.
So tell us a little bit about. Sorry, I was taking a hit.
Oh no, no problem.
Kind of dead air there, but so recently released an album. Tell us a little bit about that album, where the name stems from, and because I can't pronounce it, I would try Malaysia, but I probably totally butchered it. What's the meaning of that? Is there a meaning behind that, or?
Yeah, so pretty much in Dante's Inferno, there's these trenches deep in the Inferno, and it's where all the people who like the leaders and people who take advantage of their abuse, like their power to lie to the citizens or lie to people around them to manipulate them, that's where they suffer for eternity.
So you're essentially talking about the current government. No, I'm just playing. We're not going to get into politics.
We definitely talk about a whole lot, but you know,
two things we don't talk about: politics and religion. That goes south real
there
quick.
We go.
But yeah. So what I found, like I said, obviously I discovered you guys with the song "Narco," and that hit me right away. But then going back and listening to your catalog of music or your discography, whatever you guys want to call it, and Rico, it starts the metal. You're jamming to the metal and like out of nowhere, like the riffs come in and the raps come in. I don't know how you guys made it work so good. It
just somehow misses.
Not for real. It really do.
Punch your mom in the face, like bam, it just happened. So yeah, phenomenal job on that. And you guys said you haven't really toured, and you guys are already blowing up. So any tours in the works with the new album just dropping? Tell us a little bit about your future plans with this album and some tours.
So we're about to pump out some videos, some real high scale production videos, kind of changing the game with that. We got some merch drops coming to kind of start rolling with that. We've been getting nonstop requests, people waiting for it. So we figured it's time. Tour wise, we've actually had to turn down a couple tours. We've gotten some nice solid offers. We just haven't been able to take them just yet because we're still in that phase of just trying to get us to that point a little bit more to where we feel, all right, we're content. We like this. We're going to go ahead and hit the road. But you could definitely expect some tours coming soon, some shows coming soon, a lot sooner than people think. And we're going to really be all over the map with it. So people definitely going to get their chance.
Yeah, I would love, shameless self-plug. I have a show coming up at the end of the month in Orlando. Yeah, we're in August now. See, I can't even keep track. I've been so busy running around what it is, but I'd love to have you. I mean, obviously it's quick notice, but I'd love to have you on that lineup. But just thinking of a lineup with you guys, I mean, there's so many options. Dropout Kings, HourHouse, Fox Lake, Renaissance Manson, Odri. There's just so many dang options that you guys could mash with.
Exactly.
It's kind of incredible. So yeah, you guys could tour just about anywhere in the country with any of the artists. And it's not like this is a basic production. You guys are stage ready. You can tell in the videos that you guys have done, the sound, the quality, everything. Like you're ready to hit that stage and hit the ground running and be the next, be the next falling, Ronnie Radke or something. So
that's actually a comparison ever since we dropped that we actually keep getting this week is people keep sending us pictures of their shows. And they're like, this is going to be y'all. This is going to be y'all. I can't wait. Please start doing shows. And we're like, yeah. One day we're going to be having the 6,000 people show up. But we just going to keep pushing it until then,
The love has been insane.
Yeah,
it's been massive.
It's unreal because we still just some regular dudes at the end of the day. We still kind of do our ditty and shit. So it's humbling to say the least. We from a rough part of the map. We from Louisiana. A lot of shit don't really come out of here, especially shit like this don't really come out the South. So we just blessed blessed to be able to say that, you know, coming from our little neck of the woods, that we making something people around the world can feel and get behind.
I mean, hey, you got a lot of crawfish coming out there, you know.
Hey, yeah, I'm telling you.
In season, but y'all gotta lower them prices.
Yeah.
I gotta lower them prices.
Yeah, I don't fuck with crawfish or seafood, but I know if you want some good gumbo and stuff like that, you go to Louisiana.
Gotta come down here, though, for sure.
Like, I just want to go to New Orleans just for the simple fact of like the haunt of
Yeah,
the history,
yeah.
the haunted history, and like
No, I was gonna say that's
all
really
them.
my shit. I'd be heavy into the ghost shit. That's one of my favorite things I love about New Orleans is the history. You really surrounded by it. The buildings is still the same old shit that's been there. So I mean, everywhere you go, you pretty much brush your shoulders with ghosts out there.
right. And I'm all about it. Fortunately, I have not had an encounter yet, but if I did, I'd shit my pants and probably run like a little girl. But until that happens, I like dabbling and kind of, you know, like Savannah, Georgia did the haunted ghost tour in the cemetery, different things like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, on the camera you see some blurbs, but I've never been touched or, you know, felt
See, that's
pulled
what I'm
around my
doing.
neck or
A little shirt yank, some shit
Right.
like that.
Right. Yeah, I'm out after that. See, like tour's over. Have fun.
Yeah, growing up, the house where I grew up, like for my childhood, yeah, that house was haunted. They had a real deal ghost. It was crazy.
Yeah, see, Louisiana, you guys got that voodoo or the voodoo dolls. Yeah, like no, that shit scares me. Like we put the needle in it and they possess.
Oh
somebody
yeah,
else,
no,
all
they
that
dig
stuff.
that
No.
shit.
Yeah, nope, I'm good with that. So what's up, Ellie? Yeah, these dudes are awesome. Check out their music.
Appreciate you, Ellie.
Hey,
And yeah, so shit, I lost track of where I was. Just getting into it with Louisiana and ghost stories and Savannah and everything else. But, you guys have just since July 29th, and this is only on Spotify. I don't have Apple Music or anything like that. But let's see. The album is 7 songs, and
Yes,
you have roughly 400,000 plays on that already, and that just came out July 29th.
Yeah, it's 400 flat right now, a little bit over.
It's like July, like what the hell's going on? That's like rock, like that is literally like big artist numbers right there.
Yeah,
Within
no,
just a week.
we got some people on the back end that's kind of reminding us, and they keep telling us they like, yeah, y'all putting up same numbers as people with deals, unsigned, with y'all just on your own with it.
And that's what caught my attention is you guys aren't signed. So we'll talk more about it backstage. We talked about it, the Space Zebra show.
Yeah.
You guys would definitely kill it on there. So like I said, we'll talk, kind of a little more of the business aspect of it behind stage than obviously on the podcast. But
most definitely.
yeah, folks, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to throw them in the chat. I know you're here. You make my
Tell
job
us anything
easier.
y'all want.
Yeah.
We'll answer anything.
Blow up the chat.
So where did your musical influence come? Were parents in a band? Were you in music? How did you, is there that one band, one song? What made you pursue music?
So really, just growing up like in the hood and shit like that, and kind of in just lower income areas, you're around a lot of people that's kind of chasing their way to get out, whether it be with music or anything. And I find that I was around so many like rappers and people just trying to play musical instruments, that I already had like the idea of how people was like looking at music to try to take it out. And the rap, all my influence comes from just life, artists that I listen to over time. I listen to all kind of rap, old and new. And with the metal, I'm not gonna lie, I say to this day, it was Linkin Park and Under Oath. I was a youngest shit. I think I was like 13, some shit like that. And man, when I heard that, I was like, okay, this kind of cool, but why don't nobody around me like really listen to this? And all my friends and fam, they like, this boy listen to the devil music, y'all. This boy listen to some crazy shit. That
voodoo doll got him.
Yeah, and like at first I kind of felt like weird about it. I was like, maybe I'm just that weird dude, whatever it is. But over time, I kind of just stopped giving a fuck. I was like, I don't really care what people think about me, nothing like that. Yeah, you're gonna like what you like. It don't change like the type of person you are, who you are, where you're from, nothing like that. And I find that new metal, especially bands like Linkin Park and like Dope and Snot and shit like that, those type of bands, they got a lot of love from the Black community just because of how aggressive their shit was and how they was really talking about real life shit that was actually going on. You know, not everybody's just tattooed and depressed. You know what I mean? Some of us out here just pissed off. And that's kind of really what inspires HourHouse lyrically, is just the angst of, you know, what it's like growing up in a time right now with everything on your shoulders, being different, but at the same time, you know, maybe growing up in an area where you're trying to fit in, and everybody that look like you maybe telling you why you don't think like me, dress like me, et cetera, shit like that.
Just judging you, judging you rudely.
The cultural norm, you know, you know, you put everyone gets put in a bracket essentially.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in I don't want to say I was the weirdest kid in high school, because there were some pretty weird kids in high school. Sorry, folks, if you're listening, but you were some fucking weirdos. But
the ones that hang by the auditorium in the,
right.
in the
You know,
corner.
I grew up in a small ass farm.
The rolling school bag.
Running through the hallways.
I grew up in a small ass farm town where everybody knew everybody knew your business. And like, I would go to school, you know, there was like a little group of us that wear Jinkos and like the weird clothes and, you know, kind of into like different stuff. And obviously we were looked at as like the crazy kids. Well, you're probably not wrong. I am a little bit crazy in the head still to this day, but you know,
and we all know,
right? You know, so it's kind of different to see now that I'm a little bit older and I look back, especially being in such a small town. I go back and visit family up there, and I'm like, how the fuck did we make it up here? Like, this is so boring. Like, there's nothing to do, but yet as a kid, we made it was fun, right? But and everything is, you know, some of the bands you mentioned, like Under Oath and that, everything is coming full circle. It was kind of like emo back in the day. It's a little more metalcore these days, but all those bands are getting, you know, coming back. Used, Under Oath, and Armor for Sleep. They haven't released an album in years.
Yeah. I feel like, honestly, like we're just going slowly back into the 90s. Like the 80s is like disappearing now, and now the 90s is coming again. For example, like new metal and whatnot, and like you guys were saying, Under Oath and all.
Everything really, when you really step back and you look at it, it all runs in cycles.
So it's all running
in cycles.
Because you got to think, rap and metal fight for that top spot every 20 years or so, maybe even every decade at the point we're going in now. I mean, the 90s, early 2000s, metal had it on lock. And you'll notice that as soon as like those new metal bands started to kind of either change the sound, because maybe they're not really living in those situations no more, whatever the case is. And you'll notice that rap kind of started to become the forefront of everything. Metal got on the backboard, and now we're getting at that point where a lot of the rap coming out kind of all sound the same and is getting boxed. So everyone's starting to look to other genres, and that's why you see metal coming back, is because you got artists like us, Kane Hill, and other select artists that's kind of pushing new envelopes, not really scared to take a chance. You know, some shit might not make sense in the sense of core, but it makes sense if you're trying to make the biggest songs out here. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and it's just crazy to see it go full cycle. I should have kept all my shit from back in the day. Like now the vintage shirts are going for like $100, $200. Like
hypo negative shirts like 500.
Right. So literally, I'm gonna hold everything I have from now on, and then like 10 years, I can expect to like triple my investment.
I know we're gonna send you an HourHouse tee, and you can just hang on to that. Whenever it turns into 250, you'll have your nice little conserve it like an NFT.
I'll have it on the wall. Like, look, I had them right before they got huge.
Had it in the beginning.
Well, no, it don't cause the NFT because he actually got physical property.
Yeah,
sold a dream.
And so, speaking of merch and CDs, vinyls, different things like that, I always say it: if you purchase a shirt, a CD, that is almost the equivalent to 6,500 streams. So it definitely helps the artist out. Goes straight to the artist versus you know, the big man getting their cut and the artist getting their little cut.
Exactly.
You know, and speaking of that, so you said you have merch coming out here soon. Any plans for cassettes, vinyl, CDs? I'm a big vinyl CD collector. Don't ask me why, but I am.
Oh
yeah. Same.
Now we definitely got vinyls already on the backboard. We definitely thinking about that shit.
Cassettes, dude.
Yeah.
That sounds fire.
And as for merch, We got all kind of shit. Really, you can expect like a lifestyle brand to come from our house.
It's gonna be a drop.
Okay,
Like, it's not
nice.
gonna be like regular old.
Yeah, like you're gonna get ski masks, hats, flip flops, all kind of shit.
Ready to rob a bank just
That's
from
what I'm
our
saying.
house.
Do it in the new fresh HourHouse merch bumping Melizia.
Right, you know, that's some perfect PR for you guys right there, you know. So
I know if anybody's listening, if you're trying to come up, wait till we drop merch.
and what was it there? Oh, so the craziest thing. So back up in Incarceration, which is Danny Wimmer presents. One of their festivals up in Ohio, and it's at the Mansfield Reformatory, not auditorium, and it's where Shawshank Redemption was filmed.
Oh, that must
be at least parts of it. And so there was this band by the name of Silly Goose, literally pulled up in a truck, a trailer, and jammed out in the parking lot. Like, you know, where everyone parked.
What?
Like, literally nobody's, I don't want to say nobody's heard of Silly Goose, but literally like Danny Wimmer himself went out there and like, hey, you're going to play the next festival. So they're now playing Louder Than Life just because they showed up with their truck, a ratty trailer.
Yeah.
The boys will go get it.
Right. So they're like, you know, and they're still doing it, you know, just because they're playing Louder Than Life. They haven't changed. They'll roll up at a concert when it's getting ready to pop out, and they're out there on their little trailer jamming out.
That's
like,
it.
You got to though. I
gotta go get it.
I find nowadays like people try to be cooler than the music is. You know what I'm saying? And in the beginning, you gotta really feel and keep that same energy of like nobody's waiting on you to drop. Not you gotta make people come to the drop. You gotta show it in their face. A lot of people just kind of, man, I'm cool. I'm in a band that's branded well. I don't have to promo my shit, ask for streams. It should just be doing it. And no matter how big we get, even when we putting up millions of streams, we still gonna be in your face with it, promoting hard. Just because you gotta love what you do, man.
Right. If you love what you do, you're not working. You know,
exactly.
Typically. And then, you know, this day and age, everyone's attention span is even mine. Like I'm like squirrel, but any, you know, you know, if you're not in their face, you know, you're essentially getting forgot about. Look at a lot of these bands that haven't been around in years, and they just kind of have been swallowed up by the bands coming out. And you know, the digital era is, you know, pros and cons. Obviously, you know, as an artist, you know, you can get your music out further, but at the same time, you have 50,000 more artists than you would back, you know, 10 years ago. So
fighting for the same shit you're trying to do. You know what I mean? The same playlist, everything. You got to make sure you stand out in any way you can.
And you know, what I found impressive with HourHouse was you guys are unsigned. Your music is banging, stage ready, and without any, I don't want to say any promotion, anything like that, but you guys have made it on the Spotify playlist for all new metal,
new blood,
right? New blood, and that's huge. There's artists that have been trying to get on that for forever, and you guys put out some dope music, and boom, here you are.
Yeah, and it's just because people can hear the authenticity in our shit. Like they can just tell that we're not really trying to play a gimmick or anything like that. We're really telling y'all real life shit that we around, that we've experienced. And we really putting all into these tracks, even down to the guitars. Like these guitar work is all shit that's just been in the works mentally, maybe not on the guitar yet, but mentally it's just been worked out in your head for years. And it's just kind of all flowing out because it's real shit coming from us.
And that's what I love. I don't want to say record labels kind of change a band, but you know, you guys are doing what you want to do. You're making this, you know, the music that you want to make that is true to people. You know, sometimes record labels are like, no, we really don't like that song. We don't want that on our label or your CD. So you guys are just doing you, and that's what it's all about. So
yeah, we really run off that shock value, just like you were saying earlier, how you know, it's crazy metal riffs and then boom, beat rap section. You don't even know what happened. You're trying to collect yourself. It's kind of the same vibe with Melizia. We really in here to kind of push the genre as far as we can to where everything we put out, no matter how heavy it gets or how light it gets, everything we'll be able to make is going to be in that HourHouse universe to where our fans are going to always fuck with it. They're going to know that it's organic. We're never going to change our sound to please anyone. It's always just going to be what we think and what we want to do, and I think our fans can really feel it in almost every song.
So yeah, I think it helps at the end of the day that we all like the same kind of music and we all got our feet in both sides of it. Like, I mean, Billy got his past, you know, actually going out there doing rap gigs. You know, I've always done like production stuff, you know, for the most part growing up where I grew up.
Yeah.
So we had all kind of, Nick always listened to the same music as us. So like we, for the most part, we all kind of just have a general chemistry that always just kind of worked out for us. So like we never really feel like we got to force anything. Like everything just comes natural the way we do it.
Yeah, and that's the best part. You don't have to, you know, when you get new members or you form a new band, you kind of got to learn everybody, and everyone has different tastes. When there's that chemistry and it flows, you can tell, you know, and when there's not, you can tell.
You start forcing things,
forcing riffs, competition happens, you know. It's just little shit like that you see wreck so many bands along the way, you know, going through member changes or whatever the case may be.
And I get it. It's not a rough lifestyle by any means. I don't want to say it that way, but I mean, it is a tough lifestyle.
Yeah, it's not cool.
There's a lot.
Everybody thinks they want to go out there and go do it till they realize, like, oh, there's work behind this.
Right.
You just gotta think before you do this stuff. It's not just go plug in your little Marshall hashtag and then be cool on the weekend, if you know what I mean.
Right. I got to haul my shit up here right now. That's 600 pounds and set up, you know, and then, you know, maybe one day I'll get someone that does it for me.
Exactly.
Right. It's like you got to be willing to put in the work. Like, it's not like it's just going to come easy. Everything's going to fall in your lap. You got to go do stuff with it. You know, you got to care about your releases. You got to care about the live show. Like, if you don't put 100 into both sides of it, or if you just half step it any way, people could tell. You could hear it.
Yeah, you got to go all in. You got to go all in.
You can't fake it.
I agree. So stage presence for me is a huge thing. Not just the music, but the stage presence, the whole theatrical. So, man, I don't want to call bands out, but there's a band, I'm not going to mention any names, playing some major festivals. Great music, but stage, like, just so boring, like literally standing there and like singing. I cannot stand that. And then you have Rammstein, that's like, they got pyrotechnics everywhere. They have, you know, fire guns and all kinds of craziness. So, you know, the stage presence is part of
the Louisiana weather out here bad right now.
Right. So, the Florida weather is not much different, but fortunately we are good today. But yeah, I was just saying, you know, you have some, you know, great artists that have great music, but they are so boring on stage. They just kind of sit there and strum and sing, and then you have like Rammstein that's doing a whole theatrical production with fire guns and fireworks,
explosions.
I'm going to that show in San Antonio. I cannot wait.
I mean, it's sad when you have to put out like in the news or, you know, whatever, hey, you may hear an explosion at like 10:45 p.m. Don't worry about it. It's just Rammstein playing. So.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's not a country invading.
But yeah, so yeah, never lose the stage. You know, anyone listening, never lose the stage presence. That is, you know, the fans love the music, but we love the stage presence as well. So get the double bang for your buck.
Yeah, and even like our stage presence that we've got, like just the stuff that we working out, the fans gonna love it. Just our stage vibe and everything that's gonna be happening live is gonna be 100% matched to that music. Almost exactly how you would want it to look and expect. That's what y'all gonna get.
Like it's gonna make sense.
Yeah,
it's gonna make sense.
Just the behind the scenes crazy.
I'm excited. Like if any band recently, I'm excited to see what you guys are coming up with. You know, so where can we find, you know, the folks listening in the podcast in the future? Thank you for listening. But where can we find some information about HourHouse? Where can we follow you at? Things like that.
You can follow us at HourHouse Band on Instagram, HourHouse Band on Twitter as well. We also got our YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all streaming platforms. You can reach Matty Hood with an X, separate Matty and Hood. We got Millie is there right here. And then you can look him up on Deuce Quarter as well. If y'all want to just go to our HourHouse Instagram page, click who we're following, and it's all the members.
Awesome. And any final departing words for the fans out there?
Shit. Appreciate y'all. Keep running our shit up.
Keep running it up.
Do your duty.
Do y'all thing, man. Appreciate everybody who supports Our House. You know, we may seem laid back and cocky in a sense, but we really grateful for everybody. Without everybody listening to us, I mean, we wouldn't be here where we are right now.
Facts.
And if you have not heard of them, definitely check them out. I would highly recommend Our House. And as you know, folks, I always end the show in this format. So it is okay not to be okay. If you ever need any assistance, go ahead. They changed the number. It's 988 now. So it's much shorter than it was before. You can call or text 988. That's the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. And remember, it's okay not to be okay. Reach out to someone and you actually matter. So with that being said, this is the Sloppy Syndicate show with Our House. And follow Our House on their IG and social medias. You can follow Sloppy Syndicate at Sloppy Syndicate Show on IG. And folks, remember, we have a banger of a show coming up at the end of the month called Metal Mayhem here in Orlando. So if you are local, I better see you there. And until next time, remember, keep it sloppy.
Keep it sloppy.
Peace out.